What's up, guys? Cody here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ethereal. This is a game that I haven't talked about on my channel, I don't think, at all, but it is a game that I've been following for the past about 3 years, and I'm really excited for it because it should hopefully be coming to a paid alpha here really soon, and hopefully if it's not under NDA, I'll be able to stream it and put up content on it on YouTube. And today they've completely revamped their entire website. Added a lot of new information on here that I kind of want to talk about the game in general and talk about the items as well, in addition to a lot of the other new stuff. Now, the homepage is very nice and whatnot. All the past blogs that they've been putting out every Friday, they've been putting out these blog posts, which are just like fun fact things. They're all under the news tab. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, such as the map, has a lot of cool and interesting information. This is a really good picture that shows how the lanes are going to look like. You can see there's a verticality aspect to the game, which is really cool, and there's a lot that plays into that as well. Which is I think it's just amazing. And then also there's this day-night cycle, and this game gives you a pretty good idea of like how the game looks. It just looks so nice to like. It's just so great. I'm gonna be super excited for this. I think that's pretty much it from that I want to show. Everything else you can go and look at yourself. In here they have the 7 myths that I know are going to be playable at alpha. There are more that they have in the works. And I was surprised actually that they only had 7 here, which is interesting. But if you click on one of them, and you click on skins, you get access to all of their voice lines. They're all really great.
Mortals are a mysterious prism indeed. Is my armor too heavy? No, it's light.
Haha, funny. Okay, but in here they have that. They have also a little bit of lore for the people, and they have a little description of how they're going to play in the game. So this is Noxus, who's Archmage. That's kind of like Lux, but you can see here, within the shield barrier, the magic-wielding inhabitants face their own imminent downfall as misfortune spread of a new brings the magic of its victim. In charge of protecting the future of Solarium, Noxus searches for ways to secure. So interesting little stuff here. She doesn't have as much information as other people. There's no description of abilities. We do know that Dante we know all of Dante's abilities because of a thing that they showed. Dante is pretty much like Lucian, with the exception that his ult's a big ass laser. But like if we look at Talos, I'm going to use Talos as an example because I'm going to be referencing it later. They say that Talos, whenever he gets a kill or assist, he's going to permanently add stats. He's going to permanently get resistance if he gets a kill or assist, which is pretty cool. Especially when we get to items here. But so there's a little bit of information on all the myths in here and the voice lines for all of them. Really cool stuff. Go check it out. But yeah, we're going to be looking at mainly the items, and we're going to get to that last because we're going to quickly touch on the realm stuff. Is all lore. I'm not a big lore person, but if you want to read lore, you can. They have a big essay on the Ethereal universe, and then each other of the different realms has a small little paragraph to go with it, which is pretty cool. And then classes here. Well, if you've been following this game for a while, none of this is any new for the most part, but each class is going to have their own class ability, which is going to be pretty cool. So Archmage is going to have these teleportation sigils. Berserkers are going to be able to destroy terrain on the map. And Reaper is going to be able to scale terrain on the map. Clerics will have some type of pledge that they're going to get, which are going to give different bonuses. Knights have some relic so it sounds kind of similar to the cleric, but Knights is like a goal-oriented thing, which is interesting. Think of like in League of Legends right now, there's like you smite 5 times to upgrade your smite. That's technically a quest. This is what this is going to be like, but I don't know what the exact goal is going to be, obviously. Marksmen have some type of ward ability. It's not really well explained here. And Sky Slayers can fly. Sky Slayers are going to be the only class in the game that have wings, which is going to be the easiest way to traverse the game. Now, that being said, there are like cannons to jump you from one lane to the other, which is interesting. And there is no fall damage in the game as long as you are not, as long as you're not in combat. Okay, but now let's get to the items. The items here are very interesting. Everything here has the tiers for and whatnot, and we can hover over this and look at the full tier tree, but I have to click up through the things to get to where I want. They have the initial stats. Obviously, these values can change here, and passes on them, which is pretty cool. So we're going to first take a look at the mask. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Okay. We're gonna first take a look at the mask. They have mask and marks, which are support and jungle specific items, which are going to be interesting for me because those are the two roles that I enjoy the most in League of Legends. Just because of the fact that I get to have a lot of map presence with. So, just in general, like all of these items obviously are subject to change, yada yada yada. But they're all pretty cool. Some of these are generic. Like some of these you've seen these abilities before, but some of them are a little interesting and sound a little busted. I'm going to be touching on the mask items and the smite items and some of the other OP items that I've seen or some of the interesting items. And you can come here and look at the other items yourself. But so the mask item, this is going to be your base mask. Which has an active to get you 20% of your maximum mana back. It's pretty interesting. Don't really know, like it's an odd item. I do believe it was the mask item that was this. Yeah, it's an interesting item because it's something that a mage could use as well, which makes me believe that this passive here is going to get nerfed in some fashion. Because I think mages can very easily the mask items, especially when we touch on the wizard in a second. But the hero's mask is Australia's, which is pretty cool. Everyone around you is going to get move speed. They're going to get extra damage. That's going to last for 3 seconds. And it's got stats to kind of mirror that. The Guardian mask is Mikhail's, pretty much. So that's pretty cool. It's a tank version of Mikhail's. I really like this. Yeah, this is obviously going to be a strong item in general for supports. And then Paladin's mask is like a locket. It's going, everyone within 1,000 units of you will take 50% less damage, but it only lasts for 3 seconds. So this is going to be a lot harder to use than Locket. Locket gives a shield, and it's like it performs the same function, but using Paladin's mask versus like using Locket is going to be very difficult, especially when you take into the fact that this is a third-person MOBA, so you're not going to have a top-down view to see everyone around you. So I think that's going to be like really difficult to utilize. Now here's the wizard mask, and this is where I start to worry about type of item, because it very much appears that it's going to be abused by a mage. Like, I'm going to abuse this on a mage probably. Wizard mask fires a bolt that deals 50% of the target's current health and makes them 20% more vulnerable to all damage. They take 20% more damage for the next 4 seconds. If I have this on, like, it's a 2-minute cooldown, which is a big cooldown. But if the masks are probably going to be cheap because they're more so geared towards supports, for a supportive playstyle. And if I get this on a mage, this is going to be a cheap item to just kind of amp my damage output, in addition to giving me easy mana regen. Yeah, there's that. Next thing I'm going to talk about are the marks. The marks are going to essentially be smites for the junglers. So you can see Fledgling Mark is active, is marking neutral monster for death, dealing 300 damage plus extra. Restore 10% of your missing health. That sounds a lot like Smite, because it is. And now they build into different things. You have the Predator's Mark and you have the Sentinel's Mark. The Predator's Mark is more geared towards an offensive jungler style. So you can see that you can mark an enemy with this one and you'll get move speed while running towards them. It doesn't say what the distance is on the mark. But yeah, you can also see here that you get lower move speed cost with this item as well, which is pretty interesting. I didn't notice originally. But all these have very similar things, and some of them, like, they all, like, it's cool because League of Legends, I'm gonna keep comparing to League because that's the game I play. League of Legends very recently, with their new season, added a bunch of new items for more diverse build paths. This has these diverse build paths built in from the start of the game, pretty much. Where I start with my Fledgling Mark, and then I decide, do I want a Sentinel's Mark, which is more of a tanky style of play, tanky defensive, the tank jungler style of play. Or do I want a Predator's Mark, which will be more aggro? Then from there, the Sentinel's Mark, there's nothing that you can do for that, but for the Predators, there is some diversity in there. And that's how it is for a lot of items, which is why I really, really like this. The only other thing I want to mention is artifacts. Artifacts are the other support-based items, and you can very easily tell they're support-based because it's allies within X amount of range of you gain a bunch of stats, which is pretty cool. And it says you gain 2 gold. This is like the support item, by the way. The masks are supportive items, but they're not what you're gonna be starting with. This is what you're going to be starting with. Soulfire, you gain X amount of gold every so often, but your kill gold from minions and monsters are reduced by 50%. And this has a ton of different options that you can do, which is really cool. I will say, though, that some of this stuff is like pretty god-awful. Cursed Gift and Ariah Stone feel pretty bad, I think, based on just reading the passives. So, like, anything, it was mostly because, mostly Cursed Gift. Ariah Stone is half decent. It's just like, Cursed Gift gives minus 10 move speed. And as a support, I don't really want negative move speed, especially when this item seems to be more geared towards a tank. I don't really want that. Ariah Stone increases the healing effects given to allies and whatnot. So there's a good reason to get that, plus the move speed decrease as big as it on this one, but it doesn't give as much of a bonus. But this one looks so much better than Cursed Gift. Cursed Gift just looks pretty bad, and I'm never gonna buy it pretty much unless I really, really like, unless I have something that can effectively not care about the move speed. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be getting this stuff. This stuff is really cool. Some of this stuff sounds really broken, but it's not when you give it some time to think about it. Like, this one is every 20 seconds, you and your allied miss next spellcast is free. That sounds kind of broken, but then when you think about it, it's like, every 20 seconds, that's only going to happen once per fight. And once per fight, you know, unless, like in a poke lane, if you can get this early enough, which I don't think you can because it's a tier 3 item, you know, in a poke lane, yeah, this is kind of really strong. But in a team fight, not so much. Having one reduced spellcast is not a big deal. And this one definitely looks like it's gonna be like the default like tank item to get, in my opinion. Like, unless you really want Cursed Gifts. But once again, I think I'd have to see some of it. But I think for the most part, I'd rather just have this over Cursed Gifts because I think I can get the tank stats elsewhere. Items. So allied miss will get extra power and whatnot around me, and anyone that falls below 50% health will get 50% attack speed. That's probably gonna just be the most useful. Kind of like, once again, I don't know how much 10% move speed loss is gonna matter. It might not mean that much, and it might make me actually want to get Cursed Gift, but I'll have to. And then we have these book things. This is for like. This is definitely for like a second item for casters. At least Book of Pandora is. This is you heal people for longer, pretty much, and this is item that any mage could get because it is a Morello's essentially. It's pretty cool. The healing reduction in this is pretty interesting because it also applies to shields, which I don't believe League does that. And they have different ways to like stack it based on what the items are. So yeah, that's all pretty cool. That's like the items that were important to me. There are like other items that stand out, and we'll go over them now. Like Axe of Credo seems pretty broken. 20% of your crit damage is converted to true damage. It was pretty strong. Yeah, like that's pretty strong. Let me sort. That's pretty strong. Cosmic Rod is really good. Every 10 seconds, reduce the cooldown of your abilities by 1 second. Assisting or killing an enemy myth immediately reduces the cooldown of your abilities by 5 seconds. This is the only item I've seen give 30% moves, or an extra 30 move speed that's not boots, which means that this item is just, in my opinion. Yeah, there's like some other stuff, like this item is, I don't, like some of these items I don't understand, like this, I don't get it. When you're within 100 units of an opposing myth, you get this bonus, but the bonus is had for melees, so why not just get a different item? So there's some stuff like that. But Fool's Curse is pretty cool. It's a really good tank option, I think. At least just on the surface. When you die, you have a Kog'Maw passive that deals 10 to 20% of your maximum health damage. That seems really good. A 3-minute cooldown, fine for the most part. Like depending upon like the pace of the game, a 3-minute cooldown might mean that you don't get it every fight in the late game. It might mean that you end up having to play around it. Granted, as a tank, it's going to be harder for you to die. And so based on like how it's played, you last one to die, and yeah, there's stuff like that. The gauntlets are just cool in general. I think the gauntlets, like this one, when you are CC'd, essentially see everybody around you. That's just really cool. They've got this, which is a like 1,000 health, 15 armors compared to other stuff, but 1,000 health, pretty cool. This is a Warmogs, pretty much. This one I don't understand why you'd get it. It's a stasis, but it just, I don't know. It's a get out of jail free card. It doesn't really, it's like Asterix, but it's like a 4-minute cooldown. And then like, oh, something to note with the boots. There's a separate slot just for boots, which is interesting. Like, oh, this is so cool. 4 armor. Like, I haven't looked at all of these. Some of these are really cool. This is a really good item, by the way. This Holo Shield. Hollow Shield. Can get you a 1,000 health shield when your health falls below a certain threshold. This is just a good item for anyone. Literally anyone can get this. And it's just OP. Honestly OP. Now, depending upon the cost, obviously, it's gonna change my opinion on that. But yeah, it seems like a broken item. This is a really good item for just Talos, as far as I'm aware right now. Because Talos gains resistances when he kills someone, and this makes those resistances into damage. So that's kind of cool. There's a couple items like that, and I don't understand the full purpose of it. For instance, oh, it's right next to it. Corvy's Cloaked Cuirass does the same thing, but it converts into magic power. There's a lot of like bruisery items in here, and I'm not exactly a big fan of bruisery items, especially when there's so many of them, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like it just like I kind of just want to be like full on, like one or the other, unless I'm a dedicated bruiser. And right now they don't really have a lot of bruisers on the surface. They've got like they've got a ton of cool stuff. Like this, they have a lot of things that like are while you're above 50, gain offensive stats. While you're below 50, gain defensive stats. And I don't really know what to think about those, because I see that and I think that's really awkward. Because I think about it in terms of like League of Legends, and I think I wouldn't really want that item. I just want all or nothing. But once again, it's a bruiser item, so it's interesting. A lot of this stuff is very interesting. So, Where was it? There's a cryogenic cannon, which is pretty cool. It's a crossfire gauntlet, a iceborne gauntlet, pretty much. But it leaves us slow for 5 seconds. Kind of scary. There's where is it? Where is it? Medusa string. It gives the ADC a 1 second stun for autoing somebody. Every 30 seconds, you just get a 1 second stun on someone. Kind of broken in my opinion. Like, ridiculously broken. This reflects a spell back to somebody, which is strong. Where is oh, here we go. Staff of Anubis. Every 4th spell is just duplicated for you. It's only at 50% power. But when you take into the fact that like this item gives magic power, plus 25 magic pen, plus there was the other items, it starts to become pretty scary. Yeah, and there's just like this is like Phantom Dancer pretty much. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's really cool. This is a scythe. The scythes are really cool. This one has a knight effect where you gain 10% move speed, 15% attack speed, 10% lifesteal. Really cool. A lot of really, really cool stuff. I highly suggest that, like, if any of this is interesting to you and you haven't checked it all already, go onto their website, Ethereal Clash of Souls. Join their Discord and whatnot, because all this is so cool, and there should be something for the game. Oh, I guess I should say that this is a 6v6 and whatnot, and I'm just so hyped for this. I'm so hyped for this. And when this comes out, if I'm allowed to stream it, if I'm allowed to put content up on YouTube for it, this is all you're gonna see. This is all you're gonna see, pretty much. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, more Ethereal content to come, hopefully. There will still be League content. I do, once again, stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/TW5136. So you can catch me out over on there. So, catch you later.